Hi, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor, and your leverage for change. So, today I'm coming to speak to you about communication, which is one of the most important ingredient for in having a healthy relationship. And I'm going to speak about communication in with respect to the different attachment styles, because each attachment style kind of approaches communication in a very different way. And these types of communication can hinder and really, well, most of them, the negative, especially the ones from the attachment styles, such as the anxious preoccupied and the avoidant attachment styles, those can really hinder and cause conflict and confusion and problems in relationships. Before I start, guys, please remember to check out my memberships. My channel now offers memberships. I have 5 different levels of memberships that you can choose from, something that whatever it is that's going to be best suited for you. If you will click down below in that, there's a button that says join. And if you click on that button, it will bring up the 5 different levels. At the very basic level, it's $3.99 a month, where you mostly for support of this channel, and that you stand out like in the chat below in the comment section. And at the higher level, which is a VIP level, guys, you're able to have one coaching session with me every month. However, you're doing everything else much by yourself. So really, ideally, it's best to have one-on-one coaching, which is really my specialty, because I'm able to really speak to your specific needs and help you to move along in a faster way. All right. Anyway, let's continue with this, the communication with the different attachment styles. What can we expect? Well, guys, we know that we all really striving to be more secure in our attachment styles, and this attachment style is the best best suited for healthy relationships, because they communicate well in relationships. They will respond to your text in a decent time, or they will not get all crazy if you don't respond to their text in a decent time. They may be concerned, but they won't go back to back texting like the anxious preoccupied will. With the anxious preoccupied, if they text their partner and the partner does not respond in a almost immediately, actually, there's a tendency to anxiety starts to creep in, because one of the biggest challenges for the anxious preoccupied is that they have anxiety around being abandoned. So as soon as that happens, they text their partner, or they call their partner, and it goes into voicemail, or they email their partner, whatever it is, however they're trying to communicate or connect with their partner, and the person does not respond fairly early, they're going to develop some kind of anxiety around that interaction. They're going to be ruminating in their minds about why it is that this person did not respond, and then they're going to start making up stories about why it is that this person doesn't respond. And then eventually the stories is going to cause them to behave in a certain way. So they're going to get all these emotions of anxiety and fear and everything around just that one text, guys. Just that text. And so as a result of that, they may start texting back to back. If they don't hear from you, they will text again, and they'll text again, or they email again, or they'll call again. And especially depending on where your relationship is at that moment. Say you left home and you both had a quarrel before, right? It is even worse. It's even worse, because now the stories are going to get more serious in terms of or you're going to leave them, or you're maybe with someone else and that's why you're not able to respond, or you just don't feel like responding because you just don't love them anymore, that kind of thing, right? Now the dismissive avoidant and the fearful avoidant, and remember guys, the trick with the fearful avoidant is that they have both sides, and so they are going to interact with their partner and respond to these types of triggers in a different way depending on who they're with. So for example, say their partner is anxious, then they will now be more dismissive in that relationship with their partner. And if their partner is dismissive, then they're going to be more anxious. So I'm just going to really focus on the two, the anxious and the dismissive, and so that you understand that with the fearful avoidant, it depends on the partner that they're with, the way they respond, and with any kind of communication with their partner. So the dismissive avoidant person now, they might be the one who, when they're in relationship with an anxious preoccupied, will take a long time to respond or never respond, right? And then if they live in the same place and they come home and they're saying, but I texted, the anxious probably will say, I texted you like this and this many times, why didn't you respond? Oh, well, I didn't think it was important. It was just like nothing. For them, they don't have that kind of anxiety around communication unless somebody probably dies. They are not going to be really responding to a lot of communication immediately, right? And you never know whether they get the text or not. So of course, this can trigger an anxious preoccupied individual like to the max. It can really trigger an anxious preoccupied. Now, in terms of the way that you speak to each other, sometimes the anxious preoccupied person can get very nasty and very almost they're trying to get back at the person for maybe some of the things that they figure they haven't responded to them in the right way. And so the communication, sometimes when they speak, it can be really nasty. They will kind of go try to criticize and that kind of thing. And if the dismissive avoidant individual cannot take criticism, that's one of their core wounds. And so if somebody criticizes them, they automatically shut down, right? The other thing is that the dismissive avoidant person also tends to just retreat when there is any kind of a conversation that has any depth of emotional intensity, because they are not able to handle emotional intensity. They just can't. So they're okay if you're basically communicating about sports on TV, or things that need to be done around the home in terms of, oh, can you do this for me, or we need to do this, blah blah blah. Some things that have no emotional content. But if there is a problem in the home, or one of you guys, or mostly the anxious preoccupied or the secure, even the secure will maybe say something that needs to be done, that they need to discuss something that is becoming a problem in the relationship, and they know it is going to take some kind of emotional intensity to really have that, and it might even end up in some kind of an argument, or like one person will be on one side and the other person will be fighting for their side. Then they will more than likely either make excuses that they can't do it, or they will not participate. They'll just shut down and not participate in the conversation. Especially, they may even start out, but the moment it starts to get some kind of emotional intensity around the conversation, they will kind of just freeze and not want to participate. They may leave, or they could be in the same place, but they will just shut down. And that can be so aggravating for someone also from the anxious preoccupied, because their thing is they want to know what's going on and where the relationship is. And the way they do that is by communicating with their partner. So you can see how there can be a problem with these two different attachment styles when there is a difficulty around communication, right? The other thing that happens too is that with communication, the dismissive avoidant person will basically want only the very important details. You know, we have the tendency to think that it's just women that go in depth with their description of what happened, when it happened, whatever it is. But men do that too. And what I'm finding out is that the men who has a tendency to do that are more into they're more emotionally connected, and so they're more like in the anxious preoccupied kind of realm, right? Most of them will be in the anxious preoccupied, so they want you to know exactly what's happening and how to really, get this problem solved. Whereas individuals from the dismissive avoidant attachment style, what they will want is just the very important facts. Give me the facts. Is sometimes they'll say that, or I had somebody tell me net it out, right? Right? So just give them the facts. They just want the facts, and that's it. They don't want to hear how this happened and how you felt about it and how this happened and how, because, a lot of us have the tendency to really go tell the whole story going around and around and around. And the dismissive avoidant does not, they won't participate in that. They'll just get very bored, very tired, very, they can't get caught up into that emotional thing. So they will just try to say, can you just tell me then, like rushing you along, like hurry up and done kind of thing, right? Right? So these are some of the communication, the ways that these different attachment styles, you'll find these types of communication, the ways of communicating in these types of relationship, when one partner is especially the anxious preoccupied and one is the dismissive avoidant. Now, if they're with a secure, if either of them, the dismissive and the anxious is with a secure individual, the secure individual will temper that kind of anxiety and trigger that they usually have around communication or around anything else. However, it really is not fair to the secure person, because especially if this is an ongoing thing all the time and it just escalates, they're always the ones that are like trying to figure out what, they have more patience than these other attachment styles to deal with these things. But it is also very unfair to say, okay, because they're secure, we should just we should just dump our stuff on them and make them, figure it out kind of thing, right? Or, because they're more capable of figuring stuff out and handling stuff than the other two. So that is why I always say, guys, if you find that you have one of these attachment styles that are challenging you in your relationships, the best thing to do is really to work on yourself, so that not only are you better at communicating and being in relationships with anyone, but also just being in relationship with yourself, because this also affects the way you feel about yourself. Because for the anxious preoccupied, because they get anxious so often, that feeds into their whole psyche and their whole way of being, and they're always worried and they're always anxious, and that's not good for your health. The same thing with the dismissive avoidant. Now they hold a lot of stuff in and they're not going to say anything. They don't want to discuss anything difficult, and that plays on your not only your emotional health, but also your physical and mental health as well. So guys, if you have any of these attachment styles, it's really important that you really take the time. You are worth it. Take the time and work on yourself to change, to become a more secure individual, so you can operate in a more healthy way in relationships and in life, for that matter. So I hope that you found something important in this little video I did. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and also hit that notification bell. That way, as soon as I upload something new, you will be notified. And guys, don't forget to check out my membership channel as well. So by the way, if you need to work with me, if you want to work with me, please check out there's a number down below in the description, my email address, that you can send a direct email to me, and I will respond as soon as possible. Okay guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor. and your leverage for change. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.